Have you ever felt like you're your own worst enemy? You know, like you're just stuck in a loop, repeating the same self-sabotaging stuff even when you know it's making you miserable? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and look at your brain's hidden survival code to figure out why. But hang on, before we get into any of that, I need to start with the single most important point of this entire conversation. I want you to really hear this. You are not broken. You are a survivor. In fact, what you're about to find out is that the very things you think of as your biggest flaws, they're actually proof of your greatest strengths. So to get there, we have to start with the mystery. And it probably looks a little something like this. It's a calm Saturday afternoon, you've nothing on your to-do list, and instead of feeling peaceful, you feel kind of dangerous. Like you should be doing something, anything, because just resting feels like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Sound familiar? Or how about this one? Why is it that when you have a partner who is genuinely kind, consistent, and reliable, it makes you feel, I don't know, itchy? Almost suffocated? And why do you sometimes find yourself picking fights or just pulling away right when things start to feel truly safe? And maybe the most relatable one of all, why does your brain at 3 in the morning decide now is the perfect time to replay that one tiny, awkward thing you said at a party 6 years ago? Look, these are not random glitches. They are clues, and they're all pointing to a hidden logic that's running your life. So what is this logic? Well, it's all about what we're calling the survival operating system. It's basically the invisible software running in the background of your mind all the time. Think about it like this. Your brain is running on an operating system, right? And that OS was coded during your most formative years. It was specifically designed to solve the problems of that environment. The only problem is that software has never been updated. You're trying to run your modern, complex life on a program that was built for a totally different time and place. And this is maybe the most important reframe we're going to talk about today. Those confusing behaviors, the ones you beat yourself up about, they aren't character flaws. They are survival adaptations. Every single one of them was a brilliant, effective, and maybe even life-saving solution to a problem you faced in your past. Your brain learned a lesson once, and boy, it has not forgotten it. So this is how we change the whole story. The narrative you might be telling yourself, I'm just an anxious person, becomes, my nervous system learned that it had to constantly scan for threats. See the difference? I'm bad at relationships, becomes, my brain learned that it was way safer to be needed than it was to be vulnerable. And this last one, this one is huge. I can't relax isn't some moral failing. No, it's a logical script. My body learned that productivity equals safety. It's not a flaw, it's a program. So where did this source code even come from? I mean, to really understand the program, we have to go back and look at the environment where it was first written. We have to look at childhood's lasting blueprints. This code gets written through experiences that might, sound a little familiar. Things like parentification. That's when you had to be the grown-up way too early. Or childhood emotional neglect, which is tricky because it's not about what bad things happened, but about what didn't happen. That crucial emotional support that just wasn't there. The code is also written in what are called high-contingency environments, which is just a way of saying that love and safety felt unpredictable, like something you constantly had to earn or perform for. And all of this installs one fundamental, kind of brutal rule deep down in our nervous system. And this rule explains so much of our self-sabotage. Here it is. The brain doesn't seek what's healthy. It seeks what's familiar, even if that familiarity is total chaos. I really want you to let this quote sink in because, man, it captures everything. To a nervous system that was built in a storm, calm doesn't feel like peace. It feels like the eerie, terrifying silence right before the tornado hits. Your body is still braced for impact because in your past, the impact always came. But here's the thing, our personal childhoods don't happen in a vacuum, right? That operating system also gets patched and updated by the entire era we grew up in. This is what we'll call the generational update. Just take a look at this timeline for a second. For Gen X, you've got the whole latchkey kid era, installing this deep programming of self-reliance. Then for millennials, think about it. You're graduating right into the 2008 financial crisis after being told your whole life that effort guarantees success. All while Facebook and then Instagram were exploding. I mean, these aren't just little footnotes in history, they are major software updates to our collective psychology. So what's the upshot? Well, for a lot of Gen X, the core lesson was radical self-reliance. You just can't count on anyone but yourself. But for millennials, it was this massive psychological whiplash. Psychologists call it schema disruption. It's the sudden, jarring realization that the map you were given to navigate life doesn't match the territory at all. And this leads to really different but equally logical survival scripts about work, loyalty, and what to expect from the future. Okay, so if this is all just old code running in the background, what can we possibly do about it? Well, this isn't about blaming the past. It's about taking control of the present. It's about becoming your own coder. Now listen, the goal here is not to erase these old programs. You can't, and you wouldn't want to. That code, that survival adaptation, that is what got you here. It kept you safe. The goal is much simpler and much more powerful. It's just to learn to recognize when the old program starts running so you can consciously choose whether or not to follow its command. So here's a super simple 3-step framework you can try. Step 1, just notice the glitch. That's it. Just recognize that itchy, anxious feeling, that urge to run or fight. Step 2, name the program. Give it a label, like, okay, there's my productivity equals safety script again. The second you name it, you create some space. And that leads to step 3, choose a new response. And look, this doesn't have to be some huge, life-altering thing. It can be as small as just consciously choosing to stay on the couch for 5 more minutes. Because when you get right down to it, this is what it's all about. That child, that younger version of you who wrote all this code, they survived. They used whatever tools they had to get through situations that, frankly, no child should ever have to. They did an absolutely incredible job, and so the real question now is, what would it feel like to finally turn to them and say, thank you, I've got it from here? What would it feel like to finally let them rest?